Hey, I'm Presto, and you're watching Pros and Joycons. Today we're going to dive into the pros and cons of Splatoon 3 Side Order. Highly replayable. Marriage of Splatoon with the roguelike genre works perfectly. Gaining color chips as you're ascending the tower feels satisfying, and gaining hacks outside of the tower to make it easier to climb feels well earned. With each run only taking about 1 to 1.5 hours, it's a great way to kill time and have fun while doing it. Being able to choose from a large array of palettes also adds to the replayability. In order to get Marina's hack, you need pearls, P-R-L-Z, which are hard to come by early on in the game. Pearls are obtained by ending a run of the Spire of Order, whether you're successful or not. Depending on how far you got, how many membucks you had left over, and the kinds of color chips you collected, you will earn more or less pearls. Unless you complete runs consistently and get long streaks of similar tone color chips, pearls can become pretty scarce. It doesn't help that some of the prices of the higher tier upgrades are Apple Vision Pro levels of ridiculous. Changes the gameplay a bit by adding in the Pearl Drone, which gives your character the ability to glide. Pearl also serves as a helper on your climb, being able to use bombs, ink strikes, and killer whales depending on what color chips you have equipped. Somewhat lacking in story. There is a story here, don't get me wrong, but it's very front and back loaded, like most Splatoon stories. It focuses mainly on continuing after the events of Octo expansion through Marina's devlogs and setting up multiple connections between Marina and Oct, Pearl and Marina, and Agent 8 and Off the Hook. This is certainly an amazing feature, but at the same time, a bit more focused at the actual events of the game, and the story that happens within would have made for more of a cohesive narrative. Speaking of Agent 8, they make their return as the playable character and main protagonist of Side Order, being the first and only character to have been playable in multiple games of the series. Side Order makes big moves story-wise towards the end, involving 8 and the aftermath of Octo expansion that kind of wrap up the other half of the whole trilogy story. Since this is the DLC expansion, you can only get it if you own Splatoon 3. It'd be nice if they offered this as a $25 eShop title that you could play independent of the main game, but sadly, it is not. By playing Side Order, you unlock more things for the base game. This includes unlockable cosmetics for multiplayer, such as replica weapons that share the same appearance as the weapons from Side Order, as well as locker decorations, banners, titles, badges, gear, and more. These unlockables for multiplayer, as well as help Splatoon 3 feel more like a complete closure to a trilogy. It isn't Plock for the Super Nintendo. The music and visuals come together to make an amazing product that still feels like Splatoon, while also having its own spin on things, and the game runs like a charm. The muted ink especially is really striking against the enemy's jet black ink colors. The virtual reality aesthetic creates some unique environments, evoking a sense of calm and serenity, but also mystery and danger. The soundtrack is nothing to be ignored either, featuring enchanting and mysterious tunes to match calmer situations and chaotic, nonsensical music at the most intense moments. The Pearl Drone is fun, but it had the potential to be a lot more. It'd be cool to have more things that you can do with it instead of it just functioning automatically. For example, maybe they could have added some challenges where you pilot the drone around, doing things Agent 8 can't do and being able to use all the special moves Pearl can. With its slew of unique enemies and fun bosses, Side Order is sure to surprise even the most prepared Squid Kid. From marching Andantes to battering Lentos to whirling Accelerandos, the Spire's expansive fleet will keep you on your tentacles. The bosses especially can be very unforgiving if you aren't paying attention. With abilities like raining stores of bombs, sending out hordes of enemies, or even copying the player's abilities, you better watch your back and your front if you attempt to get past these baddies. Other than the final run, which adds a little bit of an extra challenge, there isn't really much variety in this game. Going into your 6th or 7th run can feel a bit repetitive, ending up with mostly the same stages and missions that you've already done before. It doesn't feel quite as infinite as it could have. There are only 3 mid-bosses you rotate through, facing 2 per run. On later runs, they may feel boring as you've done them so many times before. Even replaying the final boss doesn't bring the same challenge as your first run, being a dulled-down rematch. And there you have it, folks. I think you've heard everything you need to hear about whether or not to pick the game up. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe to the Gaming Corner podcast and check out our other videos. Leave a like, and comment down below your favorite and least favorite part of Side Order. I'll see you in the next one.